Hey all you coin aficionados out there, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today we have a coin that I found in my change today when I got back from the store, and it's a 1962 US Jefferson nickel. Now these nickels were made from 1938 until 2003, and pretty much this exact same look, exact same printing on the front and engraving on the front, and exact same printing and engraving on the back, except for a couple years during World War II when they moved and actually had some silver nickels. This one on the end I found in my change today, and so I said, why don't I pull a few of the 1962 nickels and take a look at them that I have, just sitting around. And so why don't we take a look at the 1962 nickel? Oh, but before we do, let me show you something else that I got in a roll of nickels the other day. And that is Regino d'Italia, a 20-cent 1918 Italian coin. And let me show you it. It's not even the same size, but it was in a roll of nickels. Somebody must have just stuck it in there. So I'm going to take a look at this Italian coin and see if I can figure out the value of it and see if it's even worth a nickel. Because if it's not, I didn't make out too well in it. And it's certainly not the cleanest coin in the world. And we usually don't clean our coins, but I may clean this one just to take a look at it. Probably not, though. I'll probably just try to find a way that I can magnify it without it. But here's the one I found in my change. So it's a Jefferson nickel. Jefferson's facing to the left. It says, "In God we trust" here, "Liberty" here. There's a star, and then this is 1962. Now this is a Felix Schlag, or an FS engraving, and he engraved this essentially a little bit before 1938. He might actually have died before they minted it, but he did engrave this, and it came out on the coins in 1938. If we look at the side, it is a smooth-edged coin. It is a copper nickel coin, and it weighs about 5 grams. It is 21.2 millimeters in diameter and 1.75 millimeters in thickness. On the back it says E pluribus unum. It has Monticello here, and it actually says Monticello below it. And then it says 5 cents, United States of America. Now, looking at the 1962s, I wasn't able to find a lot of error coins. Some of the error coins that they have are essentially a double die variety, and I have a hard time, honestly, seeing what the double die is on some of them, and especially if they're used at all, because see how these flatten out a little bit, and it's really hard to see how fine these letters are and if they were in fact a double die. So if you get a used one, I'm not sure if you can always tell it's a double die. Now this is another one that I had, and I bring this over because it's the D variety. So the one I found today, this one here, is a Philadelphia variety. And in 1962 they put all the mint marks on the back of the coin right here, except they didn't have a mint mark for Philadelphia. So there is no mint mark on the back of this coin because it's a Philadelphia coin. I should also add that there are a couple years, and that is 1965 to 1967, where they didn't put any mint marks on the nickels. So if you find a 1965 to 1967 nickel, there won't be a mint mark on it, and the mint indicated that they were temporarily suspending the mint marks between 65 and 67, and then they reinstated them afterwards. So here's the Philadelphia, here's the D, again in 1962. Here's another 1962, and you see how they have all these different levels of wear in all these different places on them. And this is another D. And if we look at this D compared to the other D, we see that sometimes the D, it seems odd, but the D takes a beating. Look how this Monticello is way beat up, and so is this one, but for some reason the D got flattened out a little bit, and I think that happens a lot with these coins. Why it happens over there where the D is, I'm not sure. Here's another one that's even more flat. This one might have been a little bit of a filled D, but I don't think so. I think it just flattened out as it went along, but again, it does look a little bit like a filled D, like it got a little extra metal in the die there. And then there's this one. And when I pulled this one from some change, I'm going, well, that doesn't even look right. Somebody must have kept this for years, because if you look how the difference in color and the difference in usage on this and how fine that is for 1962, it's just amazing, the quality on here and how you can just see the detail. And look how his eyes and his lips, how that all works so well. And you can tell that's a star very easily on this one. So why this one is in so much better shape, it's hard telling. And then when you look on the back, look at that D. If we look at that D compared to this D, if we look at the Monticello here, we can see the steps. We can see a little bit more. This is still relatively beat up in terms of it's relatively worn, but we can definitely see this so much better. So my guess is that somebody saved this. It maybe saved it for years and it just didn't get used, or maybe they found it and brought it back. And the problem is that even in this condition right here, even if this was very fine, which is close to not being, it would only be worth 6 to 10 cents. You know, sometimes what happens is you save coins for years and they never go up in value, and you just say, okay, I might as well spend them, at least get a nickel out of them or 5 cents out of them, because otherwise they're absolutely no value to me just sitting in my house. All right, so that's what we have for the 1962. Again, there are some double die varieties. There's some clip planchet varieties where they actually have a chip out of them. There's one that's on a dime that I believe NGC certified, and there's one that's on a penny, which I don't even see how that's even possible. And I'm not sure the certification of that one. When I looked at it on eBay, I'm not sure if it's certified or by an agency or not. All right, so that's all we have. It's a 5-cent coin, and it's worth 5 to 10 cents. Sometimes if you get it in good shape, you see them for $1 on eBay, and often not much more than that, unless it's in incredibly good shape, and or if it's a proof coin, because they did make proof coins in 1962. And that one will have a totally different finish, a totally different look, and it won't be this good. It'll be way, way better than this. All right, have a great day from the DC Coin World International Coin Channel.